Hi, everyone. Welcome to the United States Attorney's Office. I am Jeanine Pirro. You know, every day in America, we lose innocent victims to violent crime. And like a thunderbolt, their lives are taken from them, and the lives of those who loved them and cared for them are forever changed. They didn't do anything, and they didn't ask for it, but all of a sudden, they simply leave this world silent victims, while the rest of us watch the fight between good and evil that unfolds on streets in the United States every day. It's why I came to Washington. It's why I took this job. It's why all of us are here behind me, from the police chief to the FBI to the prosecutors to the marshals. We're all in this because of this fight. And it's why President Trump prioritized Washington, to make it safe and beautiful. But it's why we're now making inroads, with over 5,000 arrests and over 500 guns taken off the street. But crime is still occurring, but we're solving cases. And this day is a very special day for everyone who's standing behind me. Eric Tarpinian, as you know, was a 21-year-old senior from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. His life was about being an intern and living in Washington. I spoke to his mother again today. His birthday was 2 days ago. And she thought that it was an angel that came down and helped the police to make an arrest in this case. It was a dream until he walked out onto the street at 10:28 at night and got shot by a group of punks. It was 10:28. He got shot 4 times. And they were a crew. They were the Tyler House. They were masked up, and they were gunned up, and they were ready for a fight. Who knows about what? They were just ready for a fight. And when it was over, there were 79 rounds on the ground. 2 rifles, 1 9mm. Eric died alone. No mother, no father, no sister. Why? Because 3 teenagers, 2 17, 1 18, all accustomed to getting away with criminal behavior because they lived in a district that didn't take it seriously. They never believed they would be punished, so they kept moving. Arrested, as you know, were Jalen Lucas, 17 years old, a juvenile who will now be tried in adult court with murder while armed under the D.C. Code 22-2101, murder in the first degree. Kelvin Thomas, also another 17-year-old juvenile, charged with the same D.C. Code crime, murder in the first degree. But the third defendant, and I can't thank MPD enough, along with the marshals and the FBI here, was arrested, and he was presented in court today. His name is Naquan Lucas. He was a juvenile also, 18 years old. But the shooting that night on June 30th did not end with Eric. That's why we have that poster over there, not the young woman. Eric was shot, but also shot was a passenger on a bicycle. He got 1 to the left of his chest and 1 in his stomach. Also shot was a 42-year-old woman who was 5 blocks away walking into a bar. She gets shot in the back of her thigh. Also, a man at a bus stop. When these punks start unloading their long guns, the glass from the bus that they were shooting at ends up cutting someone. He got glass in his eye, and this 4th individual was injured in his head. Now, I talked about a passenger on the bike who got a shot in the chest and then his stomach. The driver of the bicycle himself is a victim of attempted murder as well. And finally, a healthcare worker 4 blocks up on the 8th floor. Apparently a window was shot out where he would normally lie his head. had it been a few minutes later and had he gone to sleep. But that's not the end of it. Naquan Lewis, the 18-year-old, has also been indicted today for the shooting death of his own girlfriend, Zoey Kelley. Zoey Kelley, right here, was a young woman. I believe she was 17 years old as well. Her murder took place in the 1700 block of Benning Road Northeast. Her body was found in one of those storage containers where she was covered with blankets and other items, and she was in the closet of a roommate of Naquan's father's apartment. When they found her, she was unconscious, she was unresponsive, and she was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. I don't know that much about Zoey, but I want to read to you what her mom said. She said, on the 4th of July, I see my baby that morning, Shanika Kelley said. That evening, I didn't see her no more. She never came back home. She never returned to us. And whoever did this, please know that justice is going to be served. We live in a district where all three of these juveniles that I've just mentioned are known to the juvenile court. That's all I'm going to say, because I can't say more and I want to. But I can tell you this, that 2 innocent souls were taken from us in what I believe were predictable homicides based upon the behavior of these individuals and the records that everyone knew about. But the DC Council is more interested in protecting young criminals under the guise of protecting the innocence of youth. It's time for them to start protecting the citizens of the district, because this is what we're ending up with. We're having victims 5 blocks away, 79 rounds on the ground. This is normal behavior in DC. No more excuses from this council. And finally, there is something called the Incarceration Reduction Act. I talk about it all the time. It means that if you're under the age of 25, as all 3 of these are, if they serve 15 years, assuming they're convicted, they go before a board. They don't have to prove they're better, they're rehabilitated or anything, and they get out after 15 years, okay? This victim and this victim, Eric and Zoey, one man is charged with both of them. That one man is 18, Naquan. Once he serves 15 years, he gets out because of the rules in the district that have to change. Chief Smith.
Thank you, Judge Pirro. Good afternoon. I'm Chief Pamela Smith, Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department. I am pleased to join Judge Pirro in announcing the 3rd and final arrest in the homicide of 21-year-old Eric and the closure of the homicide of 17-year-old Zoey Kelley. Know that our thoughts and our prayers are certainly with all of their families on today. The loss of Zoey and Eric continues to weigh heavily on our hearts. They were young people full of promise, just beginning to shape their futures with their entire lives ahead of them. We hope that today's development will bring a measure of peace to their loved ones. We know it won't bring them back, and we know that nothing can take away the pain or the loss that they felt, but it is my prayer and it is our collective prayer that this moment offers some sort of comfort as they continue to grieve and heal. From the night of June 30th, our detectives have worked countless hours gathering evidence that ultimately identified the 3 suspects responsible for the shooting that claimed Eric's life and injured the 2 additional victims. Later that same week, on Friday, July 4th, 5th District officers responded to an apartment in the 1700 block of Benning Road Northeast. Officers located 17-year-old Zoey Kelley, deceased inside of that apartment, suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. Detectives from our homicide branch worked this case, and the office of our chief medical examiner ultimately ruled Zoey Kelley's death a homicide. Our detectives soon determined that 18-year-old Naquan Lucas, who had already been identified as a suspect in the June 30th case, was also connected to Zoey Kelley's homicide. The facts and evidence of the case were presented to a grand jury, which returned an indictment, including a charge for first-degree murder. Over the last month, the Metropolitan Police Department publicized images of Lucas to the community through media. In partnership with our Washington field office, FBI field office, and the United States Marshal Service, we offered a $75,000 reward for his apprehension. Those efforts culminated into last night's arrest in Germantown, Maryland, where members of our Capital Area Regional Task Force, which is known as Cardiff, located Naquan and took him into custody without incident. He was transported to MPD's homicide branch and charged with first-degree murder while armed, premeditated for both the murder of 21-year-old Eric and 17-year-old Zoey. I want to thank our homicide detective, Gabriel Truby, and Detective Herman Kelley and their colleagues at the Metropolitan Police Department Homicide Branch for their outstanding work on both investigations. These were very complex cases. Identifying Lucas as a suspect in both offenses required high-level detective work, and that is exactly what our team delivered. This is just one example of the effort being poured into each homicide case. As I speak to you right now, our detectives are hard at work identifying additional violent offenders in other cases. But I hope this news sends a message to individuals who choose to commit violence in our city. We do not rest, and we will not rest until every single suspect in offenses like these are held accountable. And I want to thank you, Judge Pirro, and your team at the United States Attorney's Office for your partnership throughout this investigation. I also want to thank our partners at the FBI Washington Field Office for their assistance, and the U.S. Marshal Service and the Capital Area Regional Task Force for their efforts locating and apprehending Naquan on last night. I also want to thank my mayor, Mayor Muriel Bowser, who has certainly been supportive of the Metropolitan Police Department and keeps public safety at the forefront of her mind. And I will now turn it back over to Judge Pirro.
United States Marshal Gaddy Seraltes.
I don't have much to add to this. I can tell you I'm the director of the United States Marshal Service. My name is Gaddy Seraltes. I have the distinct honor to lead the United States Marshal Service and also to be the chairman of the DC Safe and Beautiful, the task force that was put together by the President of the United States, Donald Trump. This task force is a task force of 23 different agencies working together towards a common goal. The Cardiff, which is a task force run by the United States Marshal Service on a regular day, is heavily involved in the DC Safe and Beautiful Task Force. When we bring these cases to fruition, after all the hard work that the detectives do and the long hours that the police department puts in order to make these cases, it is quite an honor to be part of the team that takes the individuals down and brings them to justice. So for that, I thank you all.
Thank you. Reed? Yep, there you are.
Thank you, Judge. My name is Reed Davis. I'm the FBI Special Agent in charge of the Washington Field Office's Criminal Division. So I want to thank you first, Judge and Chief and Director, for allowing us to be here with you today to share in this partnership. And first, I want to just offer our deepest and sincerest condolences to the families of young Eric and Zoey for this tragic event. However, this arrest highlights the great partnership between the FBI, MPD, U.S. Marshal Service, and all of our law enforcement partners in our joint and collective efforts to reduce and eliminate homicides in the District of Columbia. And we will continue to contribute every financial, personnel, and technical resource at the FBI's disposal until we eliminate all violent crime in the district. So we also asked, all of our community members that if you witness a violent crime in the district, to please reach out and report it to the FBI or MPD so that we can take immediate action. And while today's arrests don't bring back Eric or Zoey, hopefully it does give an assurance to the community that your law enforcement partners, both federal and district and local, state, every municipalities are working together to eliminate violent crime and crush violent crime in this country. And this case in particular should stand as a testament to FBI Director Patel's commitment to crush violent crime. So thank you.
Okay, good. All right. I also, since everybody mentioned everybody else, these are my two homicide prosecutors, Dave Gorman and John Giovanelli. Fantastic. The best. Okay, hit it.
Ms. Pirro, the indictment suggests, not suggests, I should say, the indictment says that Mr. Lopez has been charged with first-degree premeditated murder for Zoey Kelley. That suggests that you know the motive. Was she killed because she knew too much about the 7th Street shooting?
You're right. Premeditation suggests that he thought it through and that there was a reason and a motive. I'm not ready to share that motive with you. That's something that will come out at trial. As you know, I mean, you've been following this a long time. You know, when we indict, the investigation continues right through to the trial. I'm not ready to say anything more specific than that.
Are you investigating this as if that is the motive?
I investigate everything.
Chief, I apologize if I missed it in your remarks, and I don't know which agency would prefer to take this question, but what more can you say about how exactly Naquan was located? There was that $75,000 reward. Did someone turn him in, and was someone helping keep him? And are they facing any charges?
Good question.
Yeah, it is a good question, and at this point, you know how it is when there's a reward, an award or a reward, especially with a significant amount of $75,000. I am not at this point where I will speak about that at all. But what I will say is that our Cardiff members, whenever there's a case that is provided to them with respect to looking for an individual who has committed a criminal crime, they will work until they find that individual. And at this point, I won't go into how they located him. I think we'll hold that for the trial of the investigation.
Judge, where are the guns? I have two questions. One, where are the guns coming from in these cases that you're seeing? And are you making an effort to go after those? That are tracking guns into
Yeah.
the city.
Yeah. No, we do long-term sting operations. Look, everybody knows that, there is a connection between the guns in the district, Maryland, Virginia, Prince George's County. We are now involved in long-term investigations, but we are going to be moving to continue to do what the president has been doing, which is taking individual guns off the street as well. I don't know if you want to add anything to that. Anybody? Yeah.
And then on an off-topic question, in the case
Off topic, no.
Taylor Tarantano, prosecutors filed the sentencing memo including information about the mob that attacked the Capitol on January 6th, and that President Trump posted the address of President Obama, where Tarantino was later apprehended. The filing was taken down, and the new sentencing memo was filed with those details. Did you order that memo taken down?
I think the papers speak for themselves, and what goes on in this office is not something that I'm going to comment on to the press. Thank you.
Ms. Pirro, you've had issues with the laws in D.C. for quite a while now.
With the what in D.C.?
The juvenile laws in D.C.?
Yes.
Now, my question is, beyond this, are you speaking with council members about what you would like to see done? Are you doing any sort of, lobbying on that part?
Well, right now what we've got is the mayor who's doing that lobbying. I've met with some of the council members. Look, the council has to understand that the way they have written the laws, they are complicit with the crime that's occurring in this jurisdiction. All right? And I can't say it any tougher than that. They make it too easy. And this idea that we have to coddle these young criminals, that their prefrontal lobes are not developed sufficiently, when you can look at records that literally predict that as soon as they cross that so-called threshold from juvenile to adulthood, they're going to commit a murder in a minute and a half, then you know you've got a problem. There is a problem in this district. In 2024, we had the 4th highest homicide level in the country. I mean, I've got a poster in my office of the kids who've been shot, and now we can add Zoey to that. All teenagers, all African Americans shot with guns in the district. It's horrible. All teenagers, all under the age of 20. In the last 2 years, I believe the number is 46, 45. This is a problem here. And if they're not admitting it, then they're complicit. And the concept that this one guy, if he is convicted, can get out in 15 years, then that's a problem. Thank you. Oh, I don't know. I got to get a conviction first. Thank you, though.
Just to clarify, was he arrested yesterday?
Yeah, when was he arrested?
Yes, last night.
Last night.
You said in Germantown?
That is correct, Marilyn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're brothers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ms. Pirro, can you answer one other question?
No.
Do you have any comment on
What?
this controversy over this officer from MPD who took the stand and said that he was told not to report a shooting that took place out on the street? And I think you're familiar with the case. Do you have any comment on it?
No, I don't have a comment on it, but I am certainly familiar. I'm not going to discuss that with you. Thank you.
Judge, Sean
Okay.
Dunn's trial starts on Monday, the sandwich guy.
Oh,
Your
the
office-
sandwich guy.
Your office has been asking potential jurors whether they have strong feelings about ICE in cases involving members of the task force as part of the alleged criminal activity. You've been doing this for a long time. You know that the right to an impartial jury belongs to the defendant.
Yeah.
Asking
And the people. We have the right to an impartial jury,
Well,
too.
but constitutionally it belongs to the defendant.
While I was a judge, it belongs to everybody in the courtroom.
Asking potential jurors if they have strong feelings about ICE, doesn't that nullify the idea of an impartial juror?
No, not at all.
How not?
How not? Because no one should come in with preconceived notions or feelings that are going to impact the way they accept and receive the evidence. A courtroom is a sterile room where you come in, you listen to the facts and the evidence. You leave all your prejudices outside. And everyone in this room has a prejudice. We all do. And if you don't think you do, then you're being naive. We all do. So all we're asking for is just come in cold, listen to the facts, don't come in with any preconceived notions.
Or strong
That's
feelings.
it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.